All right, so welcome to boot camp. We can go ahead and get started, even though there's 1 minute until 6 o'clock. Have your water ready, and feel free to modify and take breaks at any time. All right. Okay, now it's officially 6 o'clock. Go ahead and lift those knees and start the warm-up. All right, definitely write in the chat or unmute yourself if anything funky happens. By funky, I mean you can't hear me, you can't see me, I'm frozen. Last week we were doing isometric, so I wasn't actually frozen, I was just holding a squat for a really long time. Very different. All right, let's take it more out to the side, as out to the side as we can. Really open up those hips. And then let's bring it to the front again, but rotate, bringing the knee toward the opposite shoulder or elbow, or bringing the elbow to the opposite knee. Okay, try to keep that chest lifted, abdominals nice and braced. And then we're gonna windmill our arms forward. Feel free to slow this down, or feel free to go at any pace you'd like. We're just gonna extend the leg forward, stretching those hamstrings, also making the arm circling a little bit more big and exaggerated, bigger and exaggerated. So, and a little bit of a shoulder stretch there. Don't worry about actually touching your toes. And now we're going to go into squats, taking your feet about just outside your shoulders and dropping your butt back and down to about knee height. And really, you can do any warm-up you want. Like if you decided you wanted to run a mile before this class started, that's your warm-up. Fine. The point of a warm-up is that you just get the blood flowing. You've broken down to a little bit of a sweat. Your breathing and heart rate are both a little elevated compared to at rest. That way you're not going from sitting to like explosive burpees, right? That's like an injury waiting to happen. We have to like physically prepare our bodies for more higher exertion, more intensity. 2 more. I've done a lot of squats, I know, sorry. I'm gonna turn to the side, my feet are hip distance apart, and I am going to lunge, lowering that back knee down. Good. For squats and lunges, you can always go as low as you want to. There's no real set anything. But I would say the lowest you would go for safety purposes is that your knee comes to about ankle height. You don't actually want to bang the knee on the floor. Last 2, last 1. So I know there are some people that don't count lunges unless the back knee actually touches the floor. And I just think it's unnecessary to have the kneecap make contact with the mat. So getting to the back shin is about parallel to the floor. Good, move all sides right. 8 more. Keep that chest up. 4, and 3, and 2. And we'll take it down to the mats. So I'm putting my wrists and my hands underneath my shoulders. I'm bracing my abs for the plank. I'm going to take my feet about hip distance apart. I'm going to take 3 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Squeezing the abdominals. Contracting the butt muscle, as well as the quadriceps. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. I know these are the slowest breaths you've ever done. Inhale. And exhale. You can take your hands wider than the mats or just to the edges of the mats.
Definitely want it a little wider than your shoulders for your push-ups. Let's do 8 push-ups. You can do it right there on your toes. You can drop to your knees, keeping that straight line from the top of the head to the knees. Or the other option is pull those knees in under the hips. But notice that my chest is always lowering to about elbow height, aiming for that space between my thumbs. All right, we're doing 8, so I think I did 2 on my toes, 2 on my knees, and 4 kneeling. Okay. So let's, I generally do about a 5-minute warm-up, but I also want to invite you to like do the first round a little bit less intense, and that can still be continuing your warm-up, right? Just listen to your body. So today's workout is the 40-30-20 timing. So we do 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds rest, repeats, and then we do 30 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, 30, 15, and then 20, 10, 20, 10. 2 exercises, okay? 1 lower body, 1 upper body. The first exercise is going to be what we call the gorilla lateral walk to a squat. So if I'm going to travel this way, I'm going to put my hands down, I'm going to jump, lift my hands while in the squat. All right, so I'm going to just travel down the length of the mat. Hands down, feet up, feet down, hands up. I know it's called the gorilla walk. I don't know why. I found it on the internet, or a variation of it. But I know gorillas don't really walk exactly like that. From Hollywood movies, no, just kidding. From documentaries. All right, are you ready? That's the first exercise. And then I'll oh wait, I should show you the second one, sorry. Show you the second one, it's squat jump. So you can either use your arms, which I always say try to use your whole body, but one way of challenging yourself is to keep your arms up. Right, so we already did that in the gorilla walk too, where we like put our hands up and the feet go down. So there's kind of a theme there, the hands are up and the butt. 40 seconds of work. All right, I'm gonna start over here, so I'm gonna travel to my right, to my left, your right. 40 seconds. Down, up, so my hands go down, and then my hands go up. And then my feet go up, and it's the opposite. So you're kind of kicking into a little handstand. Don't worry too much about how much you're traveling laterally. Whew. It's pretty intense on the legs, because I'm jumping off of them, but then I'm never straightening it, right? So you get 20 seconds, and then we're gonna do squat jumps. So this is our squats. And by the way, if you don't wanna jump, just keep your feet grounded. The down up of squats with your arms up overhead, still pretty challenging. All right, here we go. See if you can keep your arms up. Nice soft landing. It's kind of hard to not use those arms because swinging the arms helps drive a little bit of the upward momentum. Working those shoulders. And like I said, you gotta use a little bit more leg muscles if you're not able to use those arms. Like, see, just try one. You can feel the difference. Gosh, my legs are dying. 3 beats. Okay. 20 seconds of rest. We're going to repeat that gorilla walk, but only for 30 seconds. The intervals are shorter, but the rest is also shorter. Whew, since I'm over here, I'll travel that direction first. There you go. Oh, I forgot to lift my hands up. Hands down, hands up. Hands down, hands up. You just need to lift your feet enough so it can move a couple feet or 1 foot to the side. All right, so you don't have to kick into a full handstand or anything. jumping my feet really high off the ground. Just kind of using my abs, getting my butt up in the air, which then allows my feet to move. Squat jump. With or without the jump, try to keep those arms up, the chest up. Here is a side view. Almost like I'm carrying a giant beach ball overhead. Keep breathing. Oh, it's burning up. 5 seconds. Oh, this one doesn't have the knocking. It has different timers. All right. It does seem like a little leg heavy, doesn't it? The gorilla is meant to be more upper body than legs, but I think it's actually just as much legs as upper body. And for that, I'm sorry. All right, only 20 seconds. Only 10 seconds rest here. I do try out each exercise, but I don't necessarily do the whole workout, so I didn't know it felt so bad on the legs. By bad, I mean I didn't know it felt so good on the legs. Whew. Only 20 seconds. 10 seconds left. You can do it. Then you get a whole minute off. Then we'll do 2 more exercises. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. So we get a minute rest, and then we're gonna go to round 2. Round 2, we start with a cardio round, okay? I'm actually gonna show you the second exercise right now, that way I can just end up standing up. So it's the interim walkout. So you walk it out, you do a push-up, you do a jack, walk it back, walk it out. So you can jack at the same time you lower, or you can do them separately. So you do a push-up, then a jack. Anyways, I don't really stand up. I just go right back out. So there's a lot of crawling on your arm, using the arm muscles, okay? And then we have this, 4 taps, 4 knees. Well, it's not easy physically. What I mean is, it is coordination-wise, it's 4 taps and then 4 knees. That's cardio. Here you go. That was your minute. Starting in 5 seconds. So you want to go as fast as you can and really drive that heart rate up. Do whatever you want with your arms. Tap, 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 knee, 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 tap, 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 tap. So my right foot reaches out, my knee pulls up. Out, 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 up, 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 out, out. Like I said, do what you want with the arms. Try to drive those knees up, up. If you want to do more taps compared to more knees, option, definitely do that. Oops, can't even count right now. And take it at whatever pace you want, right? So it's your heart rate, your challenge. All right, so that's 20 seconds rest. Walk it out. If you want to skip the push-up, skip the push-up. You can do the jacks, you can walk it out and in. So we do our walk out. I can step out, out, in. Do my push-up, walk it back, or I can do the jack. Jack, in. So that's me doing a jack as I bend into my elbows. Or here I will do a push-up, out, in, walk it back. You feel a nice hamstring stretch as your butt goes up, right? You kind of go into a toe-touching movement. So the more you keep your legs straight as you walk your hands towards your toes, the more you're going to feel a hamstring stretch. Walk it back. Finish it, finish it. and stand up. All right. That doesn't get your heart rate up as much. That was kind of intentional. Drive your heart rate up for one exercise, and then again, focus on the upper body for the other. Toe taps. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. How do you know your heart rate's up? One, it's really hard to talk. Secondly, is your breathing just gets really labored because your heart rate is tied to how your oxygen is getting through your system, right? Cardiovascular, heart rate and oxygen, heart rate and breathing. Oh, that was only 30 seconds. That's the good news. The intervals get shorter. That's the only good news of the day, sorry. All right, walk it out. Push up, plank jack. You really try to keep your legs straight if you want. Depends on how much flexibility you have, really. Remember to go all the way out into that full plank. You don't want to be doing a push-up while you're still in a down dog or plank position, right? You want to be here and then do your push-up. Yeah, the timer ring, I know. Ugh. I figured I set a good example by not stopping in the middle. And this is last round, 20 seconds. Go, go, go. Now you know what to do, so you go faster. Sometimes when you learn a new exercise, you gotta go a little slower, kind of get the feel of it. But now, this is the third time we're doing it. I also felt like that was probably the messiest way I did it, because I was tired. Okay, only 10 seconds? All right, how many can we do? One. Each one of these takes kind of a long time. I guess it's a good thing. Means I'll try to do maybe 3 push-ups. Nice. All right. Take your minute. I'm gonna grab some water here. How are we doing? Good. Nice. Thanks for the thumbs up. All right. I'm timing this minute here. Really trying to stick to it. So we have a squat to jerk split stance. So if you're ever lifting weights or if you were watching the Olympics, there's a move where it's called a split jerk. So you like lift the weights up like this, which we're not going to do, but we're just going to pretend we have the weights up already, and we're going to punch it. Punch that weight overhead into a jerk lunge. Back to the squat. I turn just to show you. You don't have to turn at all. So it will look like this. Jerk, squat, jerk, squat. So if you're not jumping, like this. All right? And then we have a blast off tricep push up. All right, that's one. There you go. So tricep push up is when your elbows are really close. So you can do it on your knees like this, totally fine. Elbows hugging into the rib cage. And then you're gonna go back into your blast off. Here. Dive forward. You can stay on your toes if you want. Push back or dive forward. Knees, push up. Off the knees, back. Like you're kind of going into a downward dog. Sorry. You're going to a downward dog, but also like you're going into a child's pose. Oh, I gave you an extra 15 seconds. What am I thinking? Okay. Jerk. Into the jump. So part of the challenge here is once again that overhead theme where it's a little more challenging and drives the heart rate up a little bit more when your arms go overhead. Now I'm doing a straight leg lunge, like a back leg is straight, but you can go into a more challenging regular lunge. But I will say that when they're actually lifting Olympic weights, they don't bend the back knee. They actually intentionally keep the back leg straight, and they're just trying to get underneath the weight. So do either version. There's a little plyometric component, so they'll get the heart rate up. Let's get into our blast off position here. So wrists are underneath the shoulders. These are tricep push-ups. However, if you want to do regular chest push-ups, you can. Just like we're in a downward dog. Push forward, push up, reach my tailbone back nice and high. Tricep push-up. It's like my butt is gonna sit onto my heels. Going to the child pose without dropping the knees. Keep those elbows nice and tight, close to the rib cage. Again, you can do the blast off, come on your knees, push up, come off your knees, sit back, find that plank, knees, push up, off the knees, and back. All right, 20-second breaths. Again, we're going from a squat, jump split, all right, or squat, step back. That's the non-jumping version. Get low. You're low, and you're low again. Low, low. Another way of thinking about it is that your shoulders and head almost stay at the same height. I'm not standing up, right? I'm squatting low, and then I shift my feet into a low lunge position. That's 30 seconds. All right. Getting down the mat for the tricep blast offs. Blast off, tricep push. Whew. Hope you got your AC up. Also, and into my blast. You always want to try to keep moving and go as fast as you can, but again, never at the expense of technique, right? Good and safe and effective technique, #1 priority. There's not some competition that you have with anyone else other than maybe yourself. If you tell yourself, oh, I want to do like 4 push-ups in this round, okay? And that's your competition. Explode. Like you're punching the ceiling. You really do have to imagine that you're shoving this barbell weight over your head. Yes, with momentum. You want to see what it really looks like. You can Google this on like YouTube or something. Or search for it on YouTube. It's a foot jerk. 20 seconds. We're definitely fatigued right now, so we're kind of hitting our limits in 20 seconds. Doesn't mean we're out of shape. It just means we're really pushing ourselves. You have the same amount of energy in the final round, the 3rd round of 20 seconds, as you did in the beginning. Well, what that really means is that you could have pushed yourself a little more in the 1st round, right? It's almost like you're conserving energy. So push yourself to the limit each round. It's okay if you completely peter out by the 3rd round. That's good. I'd rather you feel that fatigue and reach your limit than to like feel like you still have all this energy and keep going. All right? All right, this one you might really hate me for. So we have mountain climbers, which you know I hate doing, but this is the only time I do it is with you guys. So mountain climber for 40 seconds, from 30 and 20. So basically it's a running. I would call that horizontal running. And then guess what? We're gonna do vertical mountain climbers. So imagine this is vertical, like a plank. And that's it. This is a vertical mountain climber. We're starting vertical actually, so stay standing, stay standing. I don't know, which one do you hate more? Do whichever one you hate more, get it done with. I think I'm gonna hate the vertical one more. So again, this is like a vertical plank, which is not hard to hold at all. But what's hard is dragging the knees up to the elbow. Vertical mountain climber. Try not to lean back. You can do a high knee march, keep it low impact. With strong arms, strong shoulders. Just like you are pushing against the wall or pushing against somebody else. Pull those knees up. Use those abs, those hip flexors. Whew. The good news is we only have to do 40 seconds once. And then it's 30 and then 20. I know the arms want to fall. Keep them up. Oh, oops. I stopped before the timer rang. I'm so sorry. That was really bad cheating. All right, here we go. So this is our more traditional mountain climber. Arm vertical, butt at the same height as your shoulders. All right, no up, no butts up. Vertical arms, shoulders right over the wrist. It's really critical because this is the most common mistake of mountain climbing. People stick their butts up in the air and they pull their shoulders behind their wrists. You want the shoulders right over the wrist. Pull those knees in toward the elbows. Just like you did when you were standing vertically. Keep that butt no higher than your shoulders. Lots of shoulders and core muscles involved here. Oh, did I tell you I hate mountain climbers? I can't remember if I tell you that, but I generally say that a lot. Engage those shoulders, strong arms. Let's move. 30 seconds. Again, this is cardio. I know. A bunch of us who want to do bootcamp is interesting because it's not only about resistance training and weights, strength training, but it's also about interval training, which is all about intensity. It's about working that heart rate. The heart, it's a muscle too. So it's not strictly like weight training where your heart rate might not elevate. You know, if you're just doing all like bench presses and controlled squats, yeah, you're gonna feel some muscle fatigue, but you're never gonna get your heart rate up the way this kind of sort of boot camp interval training is. What's up? Eye gaze on the floor, right between the thumbs. Keep that head and neck aligned with the spine. One other thing is to kind of soften those elbows. You want to try not to lock out the elbow joint. Right, that allows you to work the arm muscles a little bit more. It's always easier when you lock out a joint. Last set. Thank goodness, 20 seconds. Half the length of the first interval. It's really hard to run like this, isn't it? You just want to use your arm, don't you? I know. I'm really restricting your arms today. And you probably feel like you look very silly. And it's probably true, but remember, we all look silly together. 20 seconds, right here. I'm definitely not moving my knees as fast as I was in the first round. Remember, we're all about reaching our limits. By the time this timer rings in 3 seconds, you should feel like you're ready to collapse. Woo. Good. That's it. And every time you push yourself beyond your current limits, right? Because your current limit is when things are comfortable. When you go out of your comfort zone, that's taking it to the next fitness level. Okay. All right, we only got 2 more rounds. Okay, 2 more rounds, and What I will tell you right now, in case you are really hating me, is the last round is going to be about abs and spine. We'll work our ab muscles and the opposing muscular spine. All right, so it's not going to be as intense as these other rounds. We do have the burpee though. Can't do a burpee. That's not a burpee. So we got scissor, scissor, lunge. Right, left, lunge. Left, right, lunge. Right, left, lunge. All right, or we go lunge, tap, lunge, lunge, tap, lunge for the non-jumping version. And then we have a burpee. So you now do a burpee. And then you do a star jump. Star jump is sort of an airborne jumping jack. Should we start with the burpee? Yeah, let's do the burpee first. Hit the burpee. Okay. So you put your hands down. You walk it back. You can do a push-up if you want. You can walk it forward. And star jump. Or jump back, push up. Or jump back without the push-up. Lots of options whenever we do burpees. Star. Because we're a rock star. I wonder what my neighbors think of me when I'm doing all this. I am on the first floor, but sure, I make the whole building shake when I land. All right, so we have the switch, switch, lunge. So it's like a quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. All right, or just step back and reverse lunge it. Up jumps. We're going to tap, lunge together. Hold. And then this back leg comes forward. Forward. Yep, so this back leg comes forward. Okay, I'm showing you all these different angles. It's very confusing you. Hold that lunge for a little bit. Get down there and freeze. Opposite arms. Yes. You get to use arms this time. Although if you really want to punish yourself, I guess you can hold your arms up here, prisoner. Does definitely make it harder. So a little bit of cardio and then muscles. Cardio, muscles. This is an intense round. Doing burpees plus a scissor lunge. Yeah, your heart rate really doesn't get a break. Your heart doesn't get a break this one. Off the legs, upper body, everything. All right, optional push-up in the burpee. Here you go. I basically said, here we go, and then I did a slow motion burpee. I don't know why I did that. There's a million burpee variations. So do the burpee one you like if you don't like this variation. Or you can do push-ups, you can do squats. All right, I'm gonna just face the same direction here. There you go. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick. Sorry. Make sure you lunge with the right leg. My first one was like this, and I barely went down and I barely split my legs. So don't copy that one. Short, short, long. Looking at straight length. These are our 30-second ones. Second break. If you need to grab water, grab water. You don't always have to grab water during the 1 minute ones. Oh, please. It's only 20 seconds. How many can you do? 3? 3 burpees? Maybe 4 burpees? Ooh. Ah. Nice. Nice job. Way to push yourself. Last 20 seconds. Again, if you want to hold your arm still, right, prisoner is an option. I guess you can leave your arms forward like this. I guess you can put your arms down here. But yeah, it definitely feels better to use the arms. Okay, take this minute. As I said before, this final round, before we stretch, is about abs and spine. So I want to keep in mind that, like, you know, if this spine work doesn't work for you, basically it's a snow angel but face down. So, you know, you make angels like, how do you make angels? Oh, like this, sorry. Basically, your legs are lifted, your arms are lifted, everything's straight, and you move them. You open up the legs, you move the arms up and down, right? It's as if you're making an angel with your face down. But you want to keep that chest up, head and neck align the spine, because the target is your spine. Do any spine exercise you like. All right, that includes being on your hands and knees if you don't want to be on your stomach. Now we're going to do our abs first. It's going to be a hollow hold with the crisscross theme. I'm going to start demonstrating it right now. You just join me when the clock starts. So here, crisscross like this. And if you want a little more challenge, crisscross overhead. Crisscross right here is fine. You can crisscross your legs higher. So you want to keep that low back imprinted. But then lower your legs, and then the lower your arms are to the floor, chin tucked, try to get your shoulder blades off. That's the challenge right now. How fast do you have to go? As fast or as slow as you want. Because even if you're here and you crisscross slowly, your abs are at work. Why? Because your legs and arms are off the ground. Your shoulder blades off the ground. So really, abs down, low back, imprinted, and again, arms up here. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I understand legs can get tired, so if you want to hold your hand here for the next one, and just crisscross the ankles, you can do that, all right? Let's make our snow angel. Lift all 4 limbs off the floor, and then just start to move them. I'm basically moving my legs and hands towards each other, so I move my arms down as I take my legs out to the side. But do what works for you in terms of what feels good. But if all 4 limbs are off the ground and the limbs are straight, you should be feeling your spine muscles as well as your butt muscles, your posterior chain, rear deltoids as well. Everything on the backside. Aren't you happy we're just like on the mat here? We don't even have to stand up. Okay, I gotta turn around though. Ooh. All right, so basically they're kind of the opposite. Our midsection is on the ground, our limbs are off the ground. When you're face up, your abs are working. When you're face down, your spine muscles are working. Whatever faces the sky generally is the target muscle. Okay, that's not true. Only when you're lifting dumbbells. All right, see, I'm getting tired, so instead of stopping, I'm just going to lift my legs higher. I still feel my abs, but it's less intense. This is much more intense, okay? So that's kind of where I want your brain to go. If you get really tired, instead of stopping, see if you can make the exercise a little less intense. Just changing angles. So you don't have to go super high. You can keep your hands literally just a couple inches off the ground. I mean, it has to be off the ground to work. It doesn't have to be like 5 inches off the ground. Try to get your chest up, keep your chin slightly tucked. Again, you can make your angel really slowly. Open, close, open, close. All right, so it shows these exercises because it's always important to work opposing muscle groups. Now, we did a lot of chest, but I can't do any back because I don't have any dumbbells. So unfortunately, you can't do pull-ups or rows without external weight. So you aren't able to always do every opposing muscle group, but at least for abs and spine we can. Jeez, I never thought my legs would feel so heavy. All right, that's it. Angel. Take it home, angels. So your quads shouldn't be like brushing on the floor. You're trying to get the quad off the ground if at all possible. All right, sit back and do this stretch here, especially because of your spine. I don't want any strain or pain in the lower back, so let's definitely take it into a stretching. Well done. That's it. Did it. 6 rounds. So you can go into hands and knees, wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, and just kind of take your spine through the extremes of an arch and a rounding. So you don't want to ever feel stiff after a workout. And sometimes if you don't stretch, you might feel stiff. So that's what we're kind of doing right now is we're trying to bring that flexibility and pliability back into your muscles while we're still nice and warm. That's the final. All right, you're gonna find your balance here. So heel to the butt cheek. Really important to stretch the quads as well as the hip flexors. We did a lot of hip flexor work today. Those high knee runs, the mountain climbers, those are all hip flexors. And of course, lunges and squats are all about quads. So I'd say this is a semi-challenging stretch for the balance, but it's a really critical stretch. You've probably seen it a lot. There's a reason we do it. And you know, some of us may take this for granted, right? Like I just pull my heel to the butt, I don't even think about it. But there are definitely some people like over time as they lose the range of motion in their knee joint, so their quads get really tight. So this is the most they can bend their knee. So they can't actually grab their foot and do stuff. So we do a lot of things and we don't even think about it. Just like sort of take it for granted that we can do it. But if you don't keep doing certain stretches and certain motions, yeah, you'll end up losing your ability to do it. You'll lose range of motion, you'll lose flexibility, and obviously you can lose strength if you are not constantly training your muscles with overload. So here's the hamstring. So yes, how strong do we need to be? I mean, like, do we need to be like Superman and be able to lift a car? I mean, no. We don't really need to be that strong. But you know, it is nice to be able to do certain things and have a certain amount of freedom, right? Like, I remember when I had a roommate that she couldn't open any jars, like every jar of spaghetti sauce or whatever. She just couldn't do it. And so I was always helping her open these things. And it's like, wow, you don't have the freedom to be able to just like cook because you don't have the strength to do something. That's just an example. All right, let's stretch our tricep and our IT bands. So take the right foot behind, just the right tricep. But you know, something like carrying your luggage, or even carrying your groceries to the car if you end up buying like a gallon of milk, a gallon of juice, and like, you know, a bunch of apples. Those can be pretty heavy. And you want to be able to like carry it to your car and carry it to your house. So we're actually getting not just our IT band, but also our obliques and our tricep. So we already stretched the spine. Let's do a quick ab stretch here. Just push the hips forward, reach up. And then let's go into a chest stretch. Reach those arms back, lift that breastbone forward. And then finally the shoulders, which we did a little bit at the beginning. And hopefully by the time you're done with this boot camp strength cardio workout, you feel very fatigued, but at the same time feel sort of energized and like, in a sense, like, you know, ready to feel like you can accomplish anything. That's a poor sentence structure. You feel like you can accomplish anything, maybe not right this moment. You might not want to go buy a gallon of milk right this moment and carry it, but the point is that, you know, with rest recovery, you can do it. Let me know if you have any questions.